Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Very good morning. And sorry for yesterday. I couldn't inform. My phone screen actually has got broken. It's dropped it, and internet
Oh,
wasn't working, so I couldn't inform you as well. Okay, let's start with this. So today I have will definitely switch to work on Maya as well. There are because after this you have your final module in Ramen 2. So there are few things I want you guys to know and discuss. Because you have to prepare your portfolio and polish it, and what kind of stuff you should keep it there, and what kind of stuff you should what do you call it? Avoid. So okay, I'll show you. This is one example. I just modified it. So right left side, this is one student's work from batch DSA 171. So this is what she did. Overall, it's fine. Okay, let's switch it off. I'll switch it off. So, my thing is, whenever we are posting anything online, whenever we are suppose after this you're going to apply for a job, right? So, uh, one thing you need to keep in mind: you always put your best foot forward. Always. Do not post anything as a portfolio piece, which is half complete, half finished, or you are not happy with it, or you are half-heartedly posting it. No, do not do it. Even if your portfolio have four pieces, five pieces, that's good, should be good enough, but the quality should be at par. That's the only criteria. There is no other way, because once you clear this and start applying for jobs, you will be treated as professionals, not as students, not as freshers or learning something. Because once you join a company, you will be treated as a professional. You will have equal amount of responsibility and your accountability and everything. So that is something you need to keep in mind. So always showcase, do not just render something and post it. So I'm going to discuss something like post processing a little bit, because I guess in your entire code there is no post processing class, I believe, as far as I remember. So usually we have Unreal or Marmoset or something. We use that to render out our assets, right? So what let's see, I guess, so generally we render this is the Unreal scene. Unreal scene she have created, and this is overall it's fine, but I can overall it's fine, but thing is fine, or it's just okay. It's not acceptable. It should be great, very good, excellent. So that is something is required. No, doesn't matter. It's a small prop. It's a huge environment, because like gaming, even if it's small prop, it should be given you should give it equal amount of importance and equal amount of detail, and render out very nicely. Get a very good quality output. That is the main focus. That should be your main focus. so so how to how to enhance anything? Like suppose this is something you can see rendered out in, I believe in Blender. This is rendered out in Blender. So Blender EV renderer is quite powerful, but thing is, you can see overall this entire scene having yellowish tint overall throughout the scene. I don't have a problem with that, but thing is, there is no focus point. Like whenever you have a scene, like this is something you keep this thing in your mind. Like whenever you are presenting something, there should be a focus point. Like that is something like suppose you have something and you want to showcase that. There should be a center of attraction. Like that's a basic principle of design. So in BFA, you learn designing and your graphic design, and learn your all these things. So like principles, designing, focal point, center of attraction, all those things. So those things we learn. So like and you already know Photoshop, right? So use it smartly because everybody wants a smart worker, a smart colleague, or a smart employee. So you need to you created everything in 3D. Then you place everything in your Unreal and then you render it out. I guess render or Unreal, anything. So so here I will like this thing. So she created this. This is overall looks fine, but problem is this is like one tone, yellowish tint is going on. There is no focus point, and it is not standing out. That's my personal opinion. So I went ahead and modified few things. I'll just show you that thing. So I just applied some color correction, some amount of paint brush, and some curve. This thing, levels, curves, exposure, all those things. I can go ahead and even modify with both things, but modify things and like what I did here. If I zoom in, okay, just zoom. It will be like easier to see and understand. So it was. You can see my screen, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yeah, sir.
So overall, you see, there's a yellowish tint and everything has same amount of focus, which is a problem. Like in nature, whenever you see anything, like especially landscape and anything, there is a depth of field. Our eyes, like whenever we focus on anything, rest everything becomes blur. That's how our eyes work. Like that's how any optical things work, right? So this kind of flat thing never looks nice. So what I did, I just added few layers and modified. This was the same curve, slightly increase the contrast. You see, like just simply Photoshop modification. Slightly color correction. I reduced selective color. I went to yellow and added little bit of blue, little bit of red, and reduced yellow. It's way too much of yellow. Then slightly exposure, enhance the exposure, contrast. Then I have added a color correction here, another color correction, but with a mask. I changed the entire thing to more bluish. So I added this thing with a mask. You can see all flick randomly. This is not this that doesn't have to be very perfect at all. It just to add slightly like a drama to your scene. Like if you more yellow, I added some blue tint, some reddish tint, then one high pass layer to enhance the sharpness. It cannot be blurred. No, whatever you're submitting or showcasing, it you cannot showcase anything which is blurred or which is not crispy enough. So make sure sharpen it.
Sir, I can't hear you. Hello? Hello?
I
Hello?
think he's on the phone.
Just give me a second. I just got a call.
Oh.
Okay. Then a high pass. Then a little bit of, you can see. Then after this high pass, I have added this. You can see depth of field. How I added? I just simply blurred the actual image. I took the copy of this entire thing, copy visible, blurred it out, and then used a mask. So you can see I blurred the top part, I blurred the background, Some front areas, little bit. Phone, my this headphone battery is low. Just so I blurred it out so I can like so I can see this, but it should be blurry to add in next level because there should be a multiple levels like foreground, background, midground. Those things should be there, and it will create an interest and make things nice. Then you can see. Then I have added one more curve because right now you can see everything on a same level of contrast and highlight. So whenever you create something, have something, make sure add some drama because that is something is very important. Otherwise, you won't feel this looks nice or that the attraction point of attraction that thing should be there. So I have added slightly highlight. You can see just a curve with a mask, curve with a mask. That's it. Then there is slight paint of blue with blur with this soft brush. I just painted it directly. So if I show you comparison, this was what it was previously, like what she submitted, and after modifying, this looks entirely different. So you add some color, enhance those things, add some drama, add some drama. So that is something like very important. So like whenever you render out anything, whatever it's in, it can be environment, can be a prop, can be a character, can be anything. But make sure what kind of like effort you're putting, it is visible because that whatever like amount of effort you are putting in and creating something very nice, but after rendering it's not visible, doesn't make any sense. So you have to make sure like whatever you're creating it's visible because you have to serve your clients, so clients should be happy, it should look nice. That's the entire purpose. And post processing is totally legal and totally fine. Post processing is not something we're cheating. Whenever you showcase something, 99% thing you see online are post process. So you have to post process and add some like drama to it, add some nice effect and all those things. Like you can modify even further. Like this window, you can see these are supposed to be windows. So these are there. She like applied this texture of wall. So I can just simply take a glass or some this frosted glass or painted glass something and place it here in Photoshop only directly, or maybe I can update the texture. That's why checking your render is very important. You can check your render, then go back again, modify your texture, update few things here and there, create that interest, and it will look really nice. I'll show you the actual photo, actual reference. This was the actual reference what she followed. Just give me a second. My phone, my headphone battery is slow. Just give me a second. I'll change it. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Oh, okay. So, so this is like this. You can see this was the reference she took and she used it for her render.
So whenever you render anything, reference anything, you need to understand. You can see there is a gradient. You can see there is a bluish tint, and gradually there is a warm tint, and then again green warm. You can see warm color, and gradually again blends into a little bit bluish, and this foggy effect. So there has to be this gradient, like, because in nature, like colors, like how you play with colors, color balancing, color palette, and all those things we need to decide and create accordingly. That is like very, very, very important. So you can see like this one was a reference. There's a lot of, you can see there are a lot of small details, and you can see there's a lot of color tonal difference, which is like you see this like discoloration, weathering effect, very prominently visible. But in this case, it's not there. So so these small things make a lot of difference in your final output. So you can like there are a few things you can modify. You can see in this I made it a little bit highlighted and I added those things. So you can do a little bit of those things on your post process, so to make it really nice and clean, and then use it. So make sure like post process all your renders and present it very nicely, the best, whatever you can do best. If you're stuck somewhere, ask somebody or ask for help, or and then modify it, because like your final output should be really good and really great. But that is something, because it doesn't matter if it's small prop, if it's a huge environment, it don't completely doesn't matter. If people say, okay, it's a small, somebody is telling you that this is small prop, do something big and all, it's totally misconception. It's only and only about the quality, nothing else. I'll show you some few of art station assets. I recently, I just today only I saved couple of these things. So let's go to prop 3D. So it is that. And while rendering, make sure your texture, your model quality, everything is very good. Everything should be very nice quality, high resolution, and all the details are visible. That's the most important. Where is it? Today morning only I saved it. Yeah, I'll show you. Because it totally doesn't like it's like doesn't matter. Only and only thing is what is quality. It's all about quality. It's not that good. It's way too much, but it's fine. But it's way too much. Like you can see this. This is just a horn, right? Just a horn like that you use in this thing, war and all something, or maybe some drinking something like drinking horn. You can see it's a very simple mode. Like it's just a cone, and slightly bended. That's it. Nothing fancy. But you can see design everything and rendered very nicely. Have color tone. You can see there's a depth, then there's a lighter tone. There are some scratches, depth. Even this leather, you can see it's all same like default, I guess, texture of this thing. Substance only, but there is a little bit fold, little bit of discoloration in between. Those things makes a lot of difference. And the way you render and post process properly and color it nicely, make sure it looks nice. This one, you can see this one, the simple, just a simple camera tilt, that's it, in marmoset only. And you can see every this volume, dents, scratches, everything is visible. And you can see these are like so clean and clear, so crispy. Reason, they have used sharpness, and plus the texture is quite high, quite big, maybe 4K or 8K. So while rendering, we have to make sure, that's why we use substance, the quality of the output, the final, like especially for portfolio piece, the quality should be really high. really high and should be really good quality. You see, this was a reference, and this is the like, final output. It's a very simple model. You see, very simple model, not very complex. And you can see there's an n gone. But so maybe this top part is an entirely separate part. Then it works perfectly. So you can see the quality. It's all about quality. It's all about your detailing. You see, just a mask. You can see just a this helmet, just a helmet. But you can see render. That makes a lot of difference. That makes a lot of difference and like your quality output. And this is, let's see what this. They use Unreal Engine for this. So it doesn't matter how big your asset is, how complicated it is. It's end of the day, it's all about the quality of output you're giving, the amount of detailing. You see, all chip off you can see very clearly, all discoloration you can see clearly. There is a transition. Those things are very important. Have to keep in mind and make sure everything looks very nice and whatever you have created should be visible. And things you should need to be very thoughtful about it, like where is the rust, where it will accumulate. All those things you need to keep in your mind and then do it. You can see this is just a wrench. Yes, you can see this. You can easily make out this is not 1K or 2K map, because you can see all the small things. You can see the difference between the paint and the bare metal. So this much fine detail. So it's like might be 4K, 8K map. So if you're doing it in Substance, you can export the map in bigger size very easily in just one click without any problem. The only thing you have to keep in mind, final render, you can create a texture in 1K, but while exporting it from for portfolio, when you're rendering, like when you're creating a portfolio, make sure it's very good quality. It's like lighting is nice. If you have problem with lighting, use the reference. You can see there's a light from below, there's a light from top, there's a light from front. It's very clearly evidently visible. So use some reference for lighting, or you can just render it out and like highlight this area in Photoshop. That also works, but make sure it looks very nice. See, it's a very low poly model, and they have created a high poly and rendered it. And this is some Indian artist, Sherry Singh. You can see just a burner, and there's something written in Hindi. So, but you can see the render. This is again substance, the quality of output. That is what matters. Nothing else. This can be a small burner. And I'll show you one more. This you see the quality, the drill, hand drill. The quality of this is again and some Indian artist. He works for some silver something. I don't know. And it's an environment. He's an environment artist. So in environment, your props, your furnitures, your buildings, all those things come in your environment, part of environment. So you can see this is a you can see it's a low poly mode. You can see cut and but only the sharp angles only you can see, but most of the area it's almost smooth. Because nowadays in gaming, most of the problem, especially forget about the gaming and all, for portfolio, make sure keep it low poly, but it shouldn't be that low poly. Like you can figure out or make out, okay, this is very low poly model. No, it should be somewhere mid poly. You can see here also cut, cut, cut. You can see it very clearly here on these corners, on these edges. You can see very clearly. These are like low. This is a low poly model, but it's a very good quality low poly, because if you see it from a distance, it looks like perfectly circle. And this quality, you can see the paint chip off metal dent and everything, and you can see paint chip off, and there's a rust. So all those small, minute details are very, very, very important. You need to add as much as detail as possible. Need to be very thoughtful and think like in nature, like when you in real life, when you use it, when it's there, because especially in gaming, 99% times you'll be creating dirty, weathered, and damaged products, right? That's like gaming, how gaming works. Like in gaming, they usually don't create very nice, clean, polished stuff. So this is something you need to keep in mind and create something very nice and way to this thing. This is again, you can see some Shruti Verma, Indian artist. I specifically collected some Indian artist references so that you can see like they are also from India, and this kind of they're like all junior artists. The junior artists, they are producing this level of quality. This is what is expected in industry. This is something what you have to create, like a same level or better than this, because they are your competition, and when you apply anywhere they will judge you based on that. So make sure this is low poly baked everything, and then, and so you can see it's a almost a automatic mapping, but final output looks nice. It's just a door, but you can see the amount of detail is very nice. Oh Konami is like, well, they are like super amazing. Hmm. So that's the like main thing. Like you need to focus on only and only quality of your output. And while for college work task, you're submitting, okay, like just like for just sake of submission, submit something, that's fine. But for portfolio, you have to work hard and make sure it looks really amazing. It cannot be something mediocre. That is something not acceptable. You need make sure it's amazing and good quality, and you have to post process it. You have to check the render and again go revisit. And one more thing, whatever you have created till now, revisit them and like implement your new learnings, new understanding, and enhance them. Always revisit your old work and enhance and improve them, always. So it will improve it, you will save time, plus you will get a good output, because with your better understanding you can have a better output. So always and always showcase your best quality work. Like no mediocre work, no like randomly posted everything, no. Make sure showcase your best work only. And they like you there's one more thing, like how you create resume and all. Give me a second, I'll show you. Like again, same thing, do and don'ts. There is the this Anupama Narayan. She sent me her resume. So in this, you can see like Anupama. Okay, let's open it. I could open it because I feel this all layout is messed up. Yeah. So you can see it's a two page, and there's an extra third page is attached to it. I don't know why it shouldn't be there. Okay. So it shouldn't be there. So this is like way too much of things. These are left side, because designing wise this is very poor, very bad. uh, this is this is not bold, and this is bold. That's like bizarre. You cannot have it like this. Usually what you do, and your resume should be only and only of one page. Nobody wants to know what you your personal life, personal things, what you like or don't like. Nobody cares about that. Your resume should state clearly what job you're applying, like what kind of company will you, wherever you applying, what are the skills you have, apt for whichever company you're applying. It cannot be a random or generic. That is something you have to understand. like you can see objective looking for opportunity to intern. This is something nonsense. You are not supposed to do this. Looking, you cannot just ask okay opportunity intern as an environment artist. That's a misconception. You cannot just ask okay I want to be an environment artist. When you're joining somewhere, you'll say junior artist post or intern. That's it. Junior artist can be your environment artist, can be a prop artist, and 99% time, whenever you start your job, you start as a prop artist. Initially, nobody will give you an entire environment, entire big sets and all. They will start with props. They will give you small props, test out your skills, and check what you can deliver and what quality and within what time. Based on that, they will start giving you tasks. So, like no environment artist, junior artist, that's fine. Or like your objective is like you want to, and like this is exactly not the objective. Objective is like what is the objective of applying that company and why you want to join that company. That's your objective. So you want to like that company is like suppose you're applying in technical. Suppose I'm giving you just an example. Suppose you're applying in a technicolor gaming department, and before that you have to research like technicolor gaming department what kind of work they do, what kind of employees they have. So they work for EA Sports. They create all EA Sports this thing. So you can say objective is to like you want to work on like game assets, games, and EA, they are working for EA, or maybe they have an EA dedicated unit. So like the kind of work they're delivering, you really like it and you want to create something like that, or you already have that kind of skill and you want to do it. So object should clearly state you applying for a junior artist work, and you like you have all the required skills for that. Then hard skill. Hard skill is it's a I don't think it's a, like a good like term. Like maybe you can just simply like your this thing you can just write your software knowledge or skills, or maybe so you can write it. So you can mention what are the tools you know, at what extent you know, proficiency, or you just know the basics and all those things. You can mention those things. This is something quite important. This is you can elaborate. You can like you can specify okay what you know in Substance Painter. You know almost everything. And Mamos a tool bag, you know, baking, you know, lighting, rendering. You can like do all those stuff. Then Max, Blender, ZBrush, what you know, you can definitely. This is something is company will focus. Then here she have like explained her artwork. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn like what you have, okay, what you did, and what kind of artwork created, what are the tools you have used. If you just click it, but simply click it, okay, open, and it will open this thing. So it's I can read everything here what you have used. So there's no point mentioning those things in here, because industry, whoever will be judging you or your resume or portfolio, they are industry professional. They are working for 10, 20, 15 years. they, Without even seeing this, they can make out like what you have done very easily. So those things are not important, because this thing like overall looks fine, but lacks in polishing, because it looks way too empty. There is no like she have added, you can see this, she have added all this variation. So there should be a variation, like it's matte, that's totally fine. That's fine, but there should be like some dirt or some dripping or maybe some lighting effect, because this is there's a render, but you can see everything is static. There is no ambient dust, there is no light, there is no like variation overall. And this this particular shot, I don't personally don't like it very much, because camera angles, what kind of camera angles you're using, If you're creating all those things, you can have this close-up shot or zoom in to zoom out that looks really nice. And always have a reference. Always have a reference, like what kind of work you're creating, and add details, like maybe some base. The floor looks really empty. There is no variation. Overall, one color and some dirt here and there. Add variation, add ambient dust, add some little smoke, some fog, something. Make it dynamic. That is something is very important. Those things are required. Then where is it now? So do not. This is like this entire thing is nonsense. Delete it. That is, and your resume should be of consist of only one page, no two page, no three page. My hobbies, what I do in my leisure time, and all this thing, nobody cares. I'm male or female, I'm Indian or South Indian or what, or some alien. Nobody cares about that. They know what a kind of portfolio you're submitting, what kind of product you can deliver, what kind of output you are delivering, what are the skills you have, and what kind of person you are, like you're a team player, or you have done some good job and you pass some award or something. People are interested on, like professionally, people are interested only on those things. And these design fancy, these are not bad, but not required. Keep it simple, to the point, and very clean, clear. Like rest, this education qualification, all these things are fine. But again, you have to do, you're doing 10th, 12th, and your score marks and all these things. If you're doing, suppose if you are doing a bachelor degree, that means obviously you have cleared your 10th and 12th, right? So, and this is 95.6% marks. Nobody cares until now, unless you are into some education, into teaching, or maybe you are into engineering, or medical, or some other stuff. Nobody care. In creative field, your score doesn't matter. What matters is your portfolio and your quality of output. That's it, nothing else. Because if you're doing a bachelor, obviously you have completed your secondary and senior secondary, right? Then if you're doing diploma, that time suppose you're doing diploma, so that time you can mention what you have cleared. So all this year, definitely you can mention your year. That gives you idea like what's your age and what this thing. So you're young and all these things. So usually industry freshers, they prefer younger you are, it's better, because they can mold you according to their company very easily. So that is fine, but try to keep it simple, very formal, clean. This should like you have this thing. This should be like maybe 11 or 10, small. Keep it clean, short, like that. So this is this is like how you create a portfolio. And one more thing, very important thing, is cover letter. So I believe this is clear. Like don't do this thing. Arey yaar, just give me a second. I'll open. I'm meeting going to end. I'll restart it, rejoin it. Then one more thing is cover letter. And cover letter is something like it's very it's unique and specific to that company wherever you are applying. It cannot be generic. It cannot be you cannot just create one cover letter and mail it to all